this is Isaacs. This is I think my third video. I could be wrong, but it's my third video. And today I would like to talk about autism and alexithymia. Now, to explain what alexithymia is, as we know, autistic people find it very hard to judge the emotions of others, but alexithymia is an internal judgment of the individual's feelings. And I can give a good example, a personal example of this would be, for me, the way alexithymia affects me is that I can recognise when I'm extremely happy and recognise when I'm extremely sad. But anything within the middle of this, what I call the grey area, is totally and utterly unidentifiable. I cannot identify what those emotions are because they're vague, they're not concrete. Apparently this affects 85% of people who have Asperger's syndrome, which does make sense because, compounded with the social emotional agnosia I've spoken about, it obviously creates this confusion with inner and outer emotions. It's really interesting. A good example I can give is when you wake up in the morning and you usually have some idea of how you feel, but I never ever do. I can only say when I'm at the extreme of an emotion. I can only say I'm happy when I'm very happy and I'm sad when I'm very sad, and that can cause confusion when people ask, how are you today? Well, that's an open-ended question in itself, and that can be very hard to answer. I think it's good to admit and to say when you don't understand the question, and when you don't understand your emotions, just say, I don't know. I cannot explain how I feel. It may take some time to reflect on how one feels, say by thinking about it later or writing it down, or with my alexithymia, it's very much of the moment, meaning that of the moment I feel an emotion I don't recognise, it's literally of that moment and I move on. I tend not to reflect on it too much because I can't decipher it. So that's very, very interesting, and I feel that a video should be made about this, so of course I'm doing one now. Alexithymia is considered a form of agnosia, as I've said in my previous videos. Agnosias are key to the autistic mind, perceptions of the world and how the autistic person views it are layers. Another thing I would like to talk about in my video is echolalia. Now, my echolalia was what one would call delayed echolalia, and that was through obsessions with films and TV programmes. And what I would do is I'd watch a film or a TV programme and then imitate the characters later by parroting their speech. That's a solid thing to do. There's no emotion there, so in a way it's connecting with the alexithymia because there's no emotion there. It's just a parroting of senses. Another thing that also manifested was echopraxia. Now, echopraxia is where you imitate movements of, say, for example, when I used to watch one of my favourite films when I was younger, which was called Hook, I would not only imitate the captain, but I would dress up as him, and I would also imitate the moves. At the end of the film, where they have the final confrontation with the Lost Boys and Peter Pan, I would not only imitate what he said or echo what he said, I'd also echo his movements. And again, that's not an emotional thing. Again, connecting with the Alexithymia, which is to do with a misunderstanding or not understanding of emotions. This is very much concrete. I am echoing what I'm seeing through speech and through movement. This does continue today, as I do have a fascination for films, and it's something that has stayed with me, and it's in some ways very much a release, and it's very, very therapeutic in a way. It's a form of escapism, which I think a lot of autistic people need, particularly with their interests. But anyway, I thought I would let people know about these things. So the key things I've spoken about during this video are 1. Alexithymia, 2. Echolalia, and 3. Echopraxia. And I hope it's been an interesting viewing. Thank you.